No, mine was simple. It was just $1 million question for the trophy wife. Is this hypergamy or is this high price prostitution, the life she's living after everything we've been learning about her? Like the relationship.
This is sex work for
Yeah,
sure.
this is high
But
price
this
prostitution.
is also points to something I stated in my video I released today, actually, on single mothers. The covering. This woman had no covering. She didn't have any sign of. She didn't. In none of her stories were there a sign of a father, a spiritual leader, a mentor, any of that would help her with discernment. And quite frankly, she didn't even want that. That wasn't even on the table because she was a flock from Sarah Seven's nest.
I think she
You
did.
got to kind of understand that she intentionally wanted to move like this. So when men make statements like she's for the streets or she's for recreational only, these are the single mothers that they are talking about.
She did for covering. I don't think she didn't ask for the right covering.
Go on and have
she said she had a covering.
Talk about that skank
that she followed, and the person
for real.
Emulating, we all know who she's emulating. Get the better life, the higher quality.
Okay.
So
that's not what we call covering, though.
Right, but I'm saying it's still it's just like, Satan does his dance. She got covering. She just didn't get the good covering.
So the thing about this, if we had continued watching the initial video where she was making the accusations against the husband, she also states that she was conceived by sexual assault. And she then also went through it with a neighbor. So this is a cycle.
A pattern.
So she has trauma. So she could be lying because of the trauma too. Because people start convincing themselves that that's happening to their kids when it happened to them.
Right. She never worked through it or got the help to work through it. And like Darwin was saying, she never had that covering from her father, right? Because he probably wasn't in the picture. From her mother, because she was already dealing with having to maybe raise a child from that type of situation. She was then pondered off to the neighbors because somehow the neighbor's husband was able to do it to her. Then she thought she fell in love at 17, which is still a very young age. You don't know much about yourself, and had a baby and started life off really fast. And she was chasing after something. So this just sounds like a broken person overall. And she's continuing this story. And unfortunately, unless they figure out a way to break this, whether we find out that the husband didn't do it and he's able to get his daughters, it's just going to continue.
You know how
and
you
that's
in
a
that
story
cycle?
that happens in the Black community all the time.
This is
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus, you eliminate the perpetrator.
You saying him and his mama to jail?
And White saying you got to tool up. But Kim, now remember what we talked about, Kim. You went on Kim. You muted.
Sorry, what was the question?
You said that was a covering. Now,
when I say covering, like when you read the Bible, I mean, you can be covered, just not the right covering. And I don't mean like the good spiritual. I mean, like, think about it. We've all at some point been, well, not y'all, but me. You follow the wrong thing and you think you're not. I mean, where she's at, I don't know where she's at spiritually. Plus her trauma, plus not having a father. It's like multifaceted to the point where there's no one problem. Like Coco said before, it's like there's a lot. If she didn't have a father and she wasn't raised in the church and she saw her mom working from a place of scarcity, just survival, and then you give her the looks that she has and you don't have a man that's covering her, and then she goes out to the world and sees what I can get because of how I look, that is a lethal combination.
Yes, recipe for disaster.
Exactly. And you would absolutely need to have, in my opinion, men, like grown, spiritually grounded men, brothers, uncles, grandpa, that not only did you can see how they interacted, healthy marriages, healthy relationships. You need to see that because you're kind of thrown to the wolves. And I'm not saying it's all looks, but in her case, just looking at her, she probably gets more of what she wants on the earthly side, not realizing what she's doing. Let her hit about 40. And I mean, I'm just saying, for her being that pretty, I think she just she gets so much of what she wants, and she's seeing what she can get. And not only is it, what I think the saddest part is her kids. It seems like her kids are paying the price.
But the reason why I ask you that because I want to keep covering conflation proof. Like we have this tendency to put these connotations on things, good or bad. Like we're like love, real love. Oh, that's true love. No, it's just love. Stop fucking it up. You know what I'm saying? Covering is just covering. It's a positive thing. It's not negative. No such thing as a bad thing. Covering is covering. It's meant to give you the discernment. It's meant for you to go back and get recalibrated, re-optimized, get your mind right, so you can go out and do good things. It ain't got there's no such thing as bad covering. It's just that's not covering, period. And I want to keep it that way. But no shots to you. It's just something I wanted to lean on as far as the direction I was going with my content. And that's why I said, I know everybody's saying people should be shot and killed, but I'm moving in a direction where I think anybody can be restored, forgiven, and repented. So like even in my videos, like if you actually genuinely come to admit that you're wrong and you want to change, there's such thing as that. I believe it. I've been reading so much of the Bible. I've seen so many stories where people have did worse things than this, and they have come to God and they done got forgiven and repented. Yeah, it's wrong. They still need to be they still need to be to do their time. Like if they get convicted or some shit. No, you go and murder. I'm not saying let them off because they've been forgiven. No, if they got a life sentence, they got to serve a life sentence. But I still think behind that there is some redemption. And
For
I think
who?
for anybody.
You saying for the predator, the people that's doing the molestation for the kids?
It doesn't matter who you are.
No, I'm just asking because I
that's how
remember you saying
powerful.
other people should burn. So I'm like, those people
No,
that
I'm
you
saying
said
if
should burn should burn, but
did
these
you hear the
people should get
context in what I
rehabilitation.
you hear the context in what I said that they should
Okay.
burn? I said if they don't have any mercy, whenever you ripping that baby from limb to limb in your stomach, not having any sense of mercy for that kid, I just said I pray, I'm gonna pray for you, but I hope God show you the same mercy that you show to these kids that you're ripping apart in your stomach. That's all I was saying.
Darn, my thing is, I think that anybody who do that should die, including myself. Anybody to do that should be deleted. That's my stance. It's a hard line.
Yeah, and I don't stand against anybody's opinion on it. I completely understand it.
So I got a question.
But I can't lean on my own understanding. You know what I'm saying? Even though I may feel the same way in white. My first instinct is to go and grab the blicky and whatever. But the direction that I'm trying to go in, and as a leader, and it's somebody's supposed to look to for inspiration. I gotta hold myself accountable. And the reason why I have standards that I stand on is so that other people can look at me and be like, and hold me accountable for it. And that's the reason why I looked at her and I'm like, she don't have any standards. She's not living by any principles, and she's not covered. This is the reason why she's moving like that. And then we figured out that she's from the sprinkle movement. So then there you go. Sprinkle. This is how you move. So these are the outcomes you get. So then you got to understand the men that's dealing with. You got to understand the men that's got to go out in the dating market and be hit with this. That they don't watch YouTube. They don't sit up here and watch Lapeef or any of the radio or whatever other stuff, content in the mass sphere. And they got to go out here fucking dumbfounded and find a dazzling sweetheart. And they got everything they done work all their life. That dude look like he's been working hard for that money. And he genuinely wants to love somebody and give them everything they want. And now he can't because he spent 20 years, 30 years working on being financially stable. He wasn't able to compensate for his physical attraction to level everything out. So he's kind of suffering from that on that side. And then he's not aware and educated on how women are moving. So now he becomes a victim to the sprinkle movement. Like I have sympathy for guys like that. I know they caught him we want to back him and call him Simpson. He's stupid and he didn't know better, but you got to kind of have some type of compassion for the people out here that don't know better and they hit with these situations. This dude, can you imagine if this dude This dude, it's some guys in prison right now that's doing sentences for SA, and they didn't even do the shit. And then I think I watched I forgot it's a Netflix documentary. I think it's called The Innocence Project or some shit like that, or Innocence Project or something like that, where these guys are doing 20, 30 years and on death row. And come to find out, the woman came up and said, "Oh, no, that wasn't him. I lied." And I'm like, damn, after 30 years. And you can't imagine how many times he was getting plugged in there. Like, because when you go in there, they gonna try to make you the B word. You know what I'm saying? Oh, fuck it, I'll just say it. I mean, cussing. They're gonna try to make you that bitch. So it's just